Hello movie lovers and welcome back to Ray's Real Review. Today we're going to be talking about Ocean's 12, the 2004 sequel to the 2001 remake of the 1960s film. As with Ocean's 11, of course, this movie stars Brad Pitt, George Clooney, Julia Roberts, Don Cheadle, Bernie Mac, and a host of others, including this time Catherine Zeta-Jones and Vincent Cassel. Bruce Willis also makes an appearance in this movie. In my last review, I mentioned that the only negative point of Ocean's 11 for me was the English accent that was used by Don Cheadle. The good news is that in this movie, he seems to have scaled that accent back. It's still there, but it's not nearly as pronounced and thus not nearly as annoying. Matt Damon's character in this movie is actually a lot better than it was in Ocean's 11. As I mentioned in my last review, his character annoyed me a little bit, whereas in this movie it feels more like his character is really trying hard to gain everybody's respect and wants to prove himself among the group. Andy Garcia plays an excellent bad guy in Ocean's 11, and of course his character continues on in Ocean's 12, but he is not in fact the main villain here. The main villain is played by Vincent Cassel, who does an excellent job of playing an arrogant bad guy. Pay particularly close attention to the scene where he has to dance around a bunch of moving lasers in a security system as he tries to break into a building. If I had to say anything negative about this movie, I would have to say that it was the lack of Bernie Mac. Bernie Mac does appear in the movie, but he doesn't really play a central character, and he certainly isn't a part of the story in the same way that he was in Ocean's 11. As a sequel to Ocean's 11, this movie is actually quite good, but it does have a definite different vibe to it. In Ocean's 11, it seems like Daniel Ocean's team is unstoppable and have everything meticulously planned down to the very last detail. Whereas in Ocean's 12, it feels like everything's going wrong right from the very start. The acting in this movie, of course, is just as good as it was in the first one, but the movie does move at a faster pace, which has a tendency to seem more confusing if you're not paying close attention. And aside from that, I really don't have much to say about this movie. It's a decent sequel. It's worth watching if you enjoyed the first one. I didn't blow my socks off, but on the other hand, it didn't totally disappoint me. It did make me curious about the next movie, Ocean's 13, which I'm going to be reviewing tomorrow and will be posting again to my YouTube channel. And that's it for today. So leave your comments and questions below. As always, like, follow, subscribe, or share. And if you'd like to support my future reviews, visit my Patreon page. I look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks, guys.